All right. What's up mga ka-investa? Welcome back to the show where we interview, deconstruct, and get inspiration from successful Filipino entrepreneurs and business professionals. I'm Renzo, your host, and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Noli Alleje. Hello, sir. All right.
Hi, Renzo.
Hello, sir. All right. So before we start, let me introduce who Noli Alleje is if you don't know him yet. So Noli Alleje is the king of foreclosures, hence the name El Subastahero. So before he started in the real estate business, he had a lot of work experience in different industries, different companies. But real estate is what brought him to financial maturity. He headed the Property Forum. He is the number one auctioneer in the Philippines. He pioneered the auction sales system in the Philippines, started the first real estate TV show here, and has bid out over 4,000 real estate assets worth 8 billion pesos. All right. Welcome to the show, sir. Kumusta ka naman this ECQ?
Thank you. Bored to death, Kasi alam naman sa real estate, we're always in the street, tripping, meeting people. So medyo yun ang namimiss namin ngayon.
Talaga, sir. What have you been spending most of your time on nowadays?
Well, actually, the first 3 weeks was Netflix time. All I did was lie down and watch Netflix. After a while, naging boring na uli.
Ah,
So I began doing webinars already online, attending webinars, trying to learn more on social media, trying to catch up.
what's your favorite Netflix show, sir?
Oh, siyempre, Money Heist.
Money Heist.
I think everybody likes that.
I agree. All right, so let's dive into the more of the real estate questions naman, sir. So, when I look into when I look into the research about you, sir, nakita ko na before starting in real estate, you have had a lot of experience in different companies, window furnishing, PR companies, financial institutions. So sobrang dami yung pinagdaanan rin before real estate, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's
So
correct. Yes.
what led you to discover the world of real estate, and how did you see the opportunity there?
Actually, may pagka-ADHD ako eh. I get easily bored with what I'm doing. So somewhere along in 1989, after the Marcos regime was kicked out, and it was the Cory Aquino time, I was kind of bored. I not much business to do at that time. And I came across some friends who were doing real estate, so I joined them for a while and took a look at it. And I found it very interesting because every day is a different situation. It's not boring. Pag bored ka sa house and lot, punta ka sa vacant lot. Pag bored ka sa vacant lot, punta ka sa condominium. And every day, you meet different kind of clients from all walks of life. Like pag nasa fitness center ka, puro nakikilala mo, mga fitness buff. Diba? Pero pag sa real estate, pare, from A to Z is the difference. From the lowest of the income to the highest of the income. That's what I found very exciting sa real estate.
All right. And if you think about it, no, sir, lahat naman tayo, in one way or another, we're all invested in real estate kasi lahat naman tayo, we live in our own homes, in different condos, different places. Pero iba yung pinagdaanan mo kasi ginawa mo siyang business opportunity talaga.
It was something more, I would say, career building. At first, no, honestly, I was not serious. Kasi so, umpisa, benta-benta lang yan. Benta, commission. Benta, commission. Yung gano'n, no? Especially during the early 90s, the industry was doing so good. At scratch paper ginagamit namin, nakakabenta kami. So, everything was doing so great. It only became a career when the industry collapsed in 97 during the Asian crisis. Naging seryoso lahat bigla. No? And we tried to find, to transform ourselves into something else. And that's where I saw my silver lining in that area. So, yun ang naging career ko na.
All right. So, you are the king of foreclosures, sir. So, can you tell us more about why you decided to focus more on the foreclosures as compared to other forms of real estate?
Actually, I used to be one of the top real estate sales directors in the early 90s. No?
Mm-hmm.
Nung tumama yung financial crisis, Asian financial crisis, we saw a big slump on real estate. Most of the properties I handled were more distressed type of properties. So puro may mga problems. Plus, everybody who I had sold real estate to, I had to approach them again and try to look for a solution for each and every one of them. So there I got to learn na parang dali lang, parang meron akong hidden talent pala na sa distressed area, especially talking to distressed people. And from there, in one of my travels abroad, I saw that there was a personality called an auctioneer in the real estate loop. Na? So sabi ko, ano kayang ginagawa nito? And at that time, I had actually set up the first real estate parang sa website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was one of the first who had that. 1990 pa yata, 98, 99, no? I had that thing before the real estate bubble and the internet bubble. No? So we had that, and we were approaching banks, and we were actually giving them the parang backdoor, no? For them to upload listings and to be able to delete listings when sold. But during that time, nobody was using internet.
Mm-hmm.
So kami na nag-upload pa sa kanila. So I got familiar with all the assets. No? Eventually, sabi ko, dali, andyan na yung properties. Wala man benta sa developers noon. Walang benta sa secondary market. I tried selling foreclosures. Then, wow, na-jackpot kami. And from there on, I stuck. So I've been like 2001, 2002, until today, I'm very, very focused on foreclosures.
Oh, all right. So, I know, sir, you have been discussing more about the Asian financial crisis and the things you learned. You actually had a recent webinar regarding that, no? And
Yes.
right now, I'd like to know more about what you think of this current health crisis that we're going through. Do you see any good investing opportunities in the real estate industry right now?
Actually, not yet at the moment, no? Kasi people are still in the denial process, no? Marami siguro ang tawag ko dyan, panic sellers. The panic sellers will come in siguro the first 2 weeks after we go into a GCQ. Kasi they're more mobile, they can show their properties, no? Ito yung mga very highly leveraged na not in denial, pero rights back into them. They know mahirapan sila. No?
Mm.
Then the next 3 months, may grace period yan eh. It's been passed by the IATF, no? Na kailangan talaga may konting 3-month or 4-month period, tapos i-stretch mo yung payment period. So, siyempre, they're gonna try to survive pa, no? So, that's the next 90 days. After that, they go down to negotiating again and try to survive, no? So, ano maybe 8th month siguro or 9th month, medyo reality bites by that time, no? Ma-feel na nila na, I have to sell the property at all costs. I mean, my biggest advice to everybody at this point in time is you cut your bleed. If you're bleeding, cut it. Don't be scared, to whimper in a corner and say, I lost something. It's better to lose it, now than to lose everything what you're trying to hold on to. So, may opportunities sa darating yan. So, you have to be ready. But remember, replenish first your emergency funds before you start replenishing your investment funds.
All right. So it's very different, no, when you look at the real estate versus yung the market, the financial markets right now. Kasi since Investagrams more on stock market.
That's
Right now
correct. Yes.
nakita na namin agad yung crash. So from now people are starting to look at it as cheap na, unlike sa real estate naman, according to you. Maybe we have to wait a little bit more, like 4 to 9 months yung range, sir.
Mga 8 months. I'll tell you the comparison
8
between
months.
the financial market and the physical market. No?
Yes,
You
sir.
see, normally the crisis will start with real estate and it will end with real estate. That's the cycle of the economy. Kunyari nag-crash yung yung financial markets now. So it will take like 5 or 6 months before we feel it in the physical market, the physical real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, mag-recover na ang financial market ulit, baka 6 months ulit bago mag-recover ang physical real estate market. That's the cycle that we go through.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So, before we move on, I'd like to address something very important to this conversation, which is yun nga, medyo na-point out ko na rin. From Investagrams, di ba, sir? I know this has also been in your mind na karamihan ng audience namin are more on the soft assets or paper assets as
Yes.
compared to real estate, which is very, very physical and very, in a way, very different kinds of investment siya. But
Oh,
actually personally, sir, I'm very interested in looking at how to invest in real estate since ngayon medyo volatile yung markets, maraming uncertainty, economic problems in the world, di ba? So for me, as as a person who doesn't know anything about real estate or at least not enough, where do you think we should start?
okay. First thing maybe you have to realize, especially if you're coming from soft assets, no? Uh, Tandaan mo, no, na real estate is one of the best places to start your investment career, no? Or your investment path. Kasi hard asset siya eh. Strong base siya. Kahit, gumuho na yung mundo, nandiyan pa rin yung real estate eh. Dati kasi di ba yung stock market, paper, di ba? Tawag nila paper yan. No? Meron ka talagang physical share of stock, di ba? Tapos yan, ang real estate, dati rin talaga, meron siya talaga titulo na hawak, di ba? So I would always say, when the financial market collapses, there's a possibility that your piece of paper will only be a piece of paper. Diba? If the company collapses, it closes down, you only have a piece of paper. Unlike pagdating sa real estate, no? Pag nag-collapse ang ekonomiya, yung papel mo, may kondo pa rin yan sa naka-backup. May lupa pa rin yan. May house and lot pa rin. So it's very strong. So I always tell people, where do you start with, when you come to investing? You start off with real estate. From the hard asset to a good foundation, then you jump off to the soft assets. And you can, ang soft asset kasi ang daming derivatives, di ba? Ang daming style, di ba? Actually, I've been trying to get into the stock market. Hindi ko pa rin maintindihan. Ibang talaga. No? Pero I advise the young people. No? I've noticed that your market, I think I attended the expo yata last year. No? And I've noticed that a lot of them are young.
Yes.
Passionate about the stock market. No? Ako, magtabi ka na ng konti, di ba, for real estate. At saka, ang real estate kasi every month, it will teach you the discipline to continue paying your monthly amortization. So, meron kang forced investments fund na nilalagay marami. So, yun.
Alright, so nakita natin yung difference no between stock market to real estate. Pero what do you know any first few steps that we can do? Like for example, where do we get learning, or should I start as a real estate agent to learn more about real estate? Do you have any advice for us?
Okay. I actually started coming up with a series of 3-minute videos on real estates. It's actually, I would say, it's a top 20 mistakes I've done in the real estate career that I've done. I think we're in video number 6 already. You can check it out in my YouTube channel, The Property Forum. So you can see we're number 6 already. Puro mga 3 minutes, 5 minutes lang yan. So it's easy learning. Aside from that, you just have to go to YouTube, just punch it in or Google, and you'll come out with thousands and millions. I mean, you're so lucky mga millennials ngayon. Kami mga millennia dati. Encyclopedia, no? Ngayon, kayo, click of a button, you got the information. No?
Yes.
The most important thing for me is, first is your financials. Alamin mo muna kung kaya mo. No? Buying real estate is no joke. It's one of your biggest investments. It's bigger than your car. It's bigger than your stock market investments. Yan ang pinakamalaki mo. Siguro yung cash out hindi malaki kasi maganda ngayon eh. Di ba? May low down payment, payable pa over 48 months, 60 months. Kaya medyo maganda. Financial capability mo muna. Hindi lang sa down payment ha. Pati yung tuloy-tuloy na monthly mo na kaya mo bayaran yan. You can sustain the payment up to 48 months. And on 48 months, are you bankable? makakakuha ka ba ng bank loan to be able to, take the property of the developer and transfer to your name already. So yan yung mga titignan mo. No? Kasi everything else, location, the amenities of the building, nandun lahat naman yan. It's very physical. No? But this is more of you. Kaya ko ba to?
All right. So based on that, more on focus on our own personal financial capabilities, no? So maybe we can focus on our cash cow or our jobs that pay us so that we can invest in real estate.
Yep.
Tama ba, sir? All right. All right. So I'm gonna approach this naman, sir, in a very stock market oriented person.
Okay.
No. So I'm a trader from Investagrams then. Tapos when I invest in stocks kasi, we have indicators that show us which stocks to buy, which stocks we think are cheap or which stocks will go up. It can be a fundamental indicator like earnings or the utang ng kumpanya, mga ganun. So, sa real estate naman, do you have any specific indicators that you look into to tell you na, this is a good property to buy or invest in?
Okay. It depends on where you're buying from. No? For example, if you're buying from a developer, mga publicly listed company, ang suggestion ko, no? Ayala, Mega World, if you invest, Century, mga ganun, no? Because these companies are solid. They have good financial fundamentals na, no? And they're very high equity. So, matutuloy pa rin ang project nila. You may want to think about, may small time developer dyan sa kanto, maganda presyo niya, no? Nasa pre-selling siya, pero hindi mo alam kung matatapos siya o hindi. So you have to be careful. Huh? So it's the stability of the developer whom you're buying from is very important. So if you're buying naman as an investment, siyempre you have to see the growth area. No? Kahit developer or secondary market or even foreclosed property, you have to look kung may growth. Ano ba yung market ng employment in that area? Ano yung GDP ng probinsya na yun? Kasi I hark on people to start investing in the provinces. Huwag lang Metro Manila. Masyado nang marami dito. At saka taas na masyado. No? The upside on your investment in Metro Manila is manipis compared to the province. Ang probinsya, you can get a condo for 80,000. Pag tilabihan siya ng isang mall, 120, 150. Malaki ang jump. No? So it's location and the geographical development in that area. Kung ano ang mangyayari sa lugar na yun. For example, give an example, Tarlac. No? If you look at Tarlac, where I've heavily invested recently, you can see that there are indications of growth, private sector and public sector. So, yun ang hahanapin mo. Yung mga inflation rate basically it's a general thing. It encompasses the whole industry. No? The interest rates, maganda yan pag bababa. Kasi marami bibili. Pwede mag-high leverage pag binenta mo. Pero yung talaga titignan mo dyan talaga is yung growth of where you're putting your money is. If it's going to be an investment. But if you're buying it because you want to live in it, then may I suggest mag-rent ka muna dyan ng 3-4 na buwan para ma-feel mo talaga kung talagang gusto mo talaga.
Alright. So from that, dapat okay yung developers, maganda yung growth and development ng geographical area plus yung mga other things that we also consider in the market, no, yung inflation, interest, yung GDP. So in a sense, medyo marami pa rin siyang similarities, no, sir? So,
that's correct.
Sa mga stock traders dyan, wag kayong matakot mag-real estate.
Wala lang kaming charts, yun lang, no? Pero maraming developer ngayon, gumagawa na sila ng mga charts of appreciation. Like they will show Nuvali opened at 8 or 10,000. Today, Nuvali's properties are now being sold at 25, 30, 35,000 over the number of years. Yung mga ganun type ang pinapakita naman nila. So the charts are beginning to come out also to help them help us, brokers and buyers na to say, nga pala, no, this developer, maganda yung appreciation value niya. Para may branding sila. Like, for example, if you want to buy where life already is centered in, then maybe you look at Mega World. Because Mega World is the number one in township. So unlike before, when people develop, very conscious sila sa location, di ba? This time, the other way, it's happening now in the market is a big developer like Mega World, they create their location. Dati inisip mo, saan ako bibili? But doon may simbahan doon. Doon may mall doon. Doon may work. Ngayon, ang ginagawa ng township developer like Mega World, they buy a big tracts of land and they create the church, the malls, the business sector, andun na lahat, residential and everything. So they create their location. Yun ang malaking pagkakaiba ngayon.
Okay. So mainly, I think based on that, biggest factor is yung developer, sir. Or at least a big portion of your consideration.
Yes, of course. Kasi may brand yan eh.
Okay, sir. Alright, so another thing we consider then when we invest sa stock market is if you're more disciplined, every morning we check the market and we try to screen the stocks that we want or the stocks na pwedeng tumaas. So basically, makikita namin doon yung list of stocks that we should be looking into and analyzing. So in real estate naman, where do you actually go to screen properties? Do you have to go to the bank and look at the foreclosed properties there, or do you have to go to different websites of developers? Do you know anything, sir, that you personally use to look for properties?
Well, for general properties, maganda na rin yung mga Lamudi, Property 24, Carousel. May mga website ngayon that you can do property searches on. So you can go there. Me naman, for foreclosures, I actually scrounge or go through all the banks. I print all their foreclosed properties. And as a hobby, I look at it. And sometimes I find something that's very interesting, and that's what I buy. Same thing like what you do every morning. Pero hindi naman ako every morning kasi my list is like you're talking about 30, 40,000 properties. No? So first, I try to narrow it down by location. No? So why will I buy in Cebu or Davao? Who will manage it? Who will look at it? Diba? So I would prefer is a growth area that I have access to, like Tarlac. I would buy in Tarlac kasi may access ako doon. Isang sakay lang sa SCTech. Not SCTech. Yeah, SCTech. At saka NLEX. Nandun na ako sa Tarlac. Madali, no? So I'm able to supervise. I'm able to inspect my properties. So it's the same process, pero hindi naman araw-araw.
All right. So if let's say you've been able to narrow it down and you want to start investing in Tarlac, what did you do to look for properties there? Did you search muna sa internet? Newspapers ba? Is it still useful ngayon?
No. Actually, as I mentioned, I really go to the bank websites or physically visit the banks, which I used to do before. Now I cannot physically visit them. No? So I go there and I get their hard copy, or I give them a USB so I can save the soft copies. No? So or go to the website and download and print. So yun ang ginagawa ko. And I've kept very good relationship with a lot of the banks over the years. I mean, I've been doing this for more than 20 years. So medyo maganda yung relationship ko sa kanila.
All right. So I think there's another thing that we try to consider rin. So you mentioned earlier na let's say nag-crash yung markets, yung real estate is in a sense less riskier in terms of value kasi it makes sense naman, no, sir. Yung yung property naman hindi naman siya, it's a very limited resource. No? So over time, yung value talagang tumataas siya kasi mas nauubusan tayo ng resource na yun. Tama ba, sir?
Yeah.
Pero
in real estate, go ahead.
Yes, sir. All right. So one thing we like to consider is how we manage our risks. So for example, I invest in a certain company. I will limit my risk, for example, to 1% loss. And if it goes 1%, I'm gonna start selling my shares na. So how do you manage naman your real estate investments given na medyo malaki yung capital allocation for that?
Okay. Yun siguro na pagkakaiba, no? When your property, when your shares are sliding in value, it's easier to liquidate. Yun ang siguro advantage ng shares, ma? Pero mabilis din mag-crash. Like in one day, it can crash by 30%. Bukas, another 20. The next day, 10%. I mean,
Yes.
malaki, di ba? It takes a steep dive, di ba? And it's just taking there ever so slowly yan. Ang slide niya. Kaya, yun nakikita mo pa rin kung babagsak siya. And you won't be able to unload that quickly. So ang risk management namin dyan basically is to be able to see the properties that you're buying. You have to be very specific. Hanapin mo palagi may demand. Kung may demand yung area na pinupuntahan mo. No? Kasi I'll give you an example. No? If you go to SLEX, di ba? The properties on going towards Laguna area, the properties on the left side, I consider that negative migration. On the right side, you see a positive migration. So, saan ka bibili? Sa kaliwa o sa kanan? Di ba? Parang, yun ang naisip ko.
Alright. Alright. So more on less liquid siya, pero you have to look on the demand of the company to lower your risk, no, sir?
Yeah.
Alright. So another question I have is about debt or utang.
Mm.
What's your take on this, sir? Do you think people should start getting loans para makapag-invest into real estate?
Okay. You have to watch out for your appetite on debt, di ba? Kasi mabilis umutang eh. Totoo lang eh. Actually, my last video now is I call it BFF with the lenders. And I always say, they're not your best friends, you know. They actually give you money because that's their business, you know. So, for example, you're actually applying for a loan and you tell your account officer, Miss, medyo kulang pa yung papeles ko. Okay lang yan. Di ba? Papa-appraise ko yung property. Ay, wag this weekend kasi wala ako sa bahay. Pwede yan. Wag ng problema. Next weekend tayo. Pinautang ka na. Kaya tawagan mo ngayon. Uy, alam mo, may problema ako this 13th. Di ko mababayaran yan. Pwede ba sa 16 ko na bayaran yan? Sige. Di ba? Pwede naman 16. Pero watch out for your penalty. Watch out for your charges. Di ba? So, the lenders are not your best friend. So, you have to be very careful about being highly leveraged. I've seen, that's right, let me go back to 1997, you know. I see so many people were highly leveraged, no? And, you know, a lot of people forget again. They forget history, no? And, you know, we have over 2 trillion worth of real estate loans today. Could you imagine that? You know how many residential houses, commercial condos, that's actually equal to, if you would say 4 million pesos na lang ang average price per property. Ganun kadami ang naka-loan out.
Oh.
Marami din dyan ay mga condominium buyers, house and lot buyers, end users, di ba? And what about those people who actually mortgage their properties to be able to expand their businesses? Malaki din yan. So if you're highly leveraged now, I mean, you have to bring it down. I mean, take a look at our government, for example. No? Ang leverage natin yung baba. Ang loans to GDP natin, 40% lang. That's why we're very solid and very strong. So, same with you as an individual. Dapat mababa na ang utang mo. Try to always limit. And if you can accelerate payments of your debts, accelerate. So, for example, now you have extra money, di ba? So, I would say, you try to prepay. Usapin mo yung bangko, mag-prepayment ka. Mumulat na sila, nagpi-prepay ka, baliktad. Instead of asking for extension, nagpi-prepay ka pa, di ba? Ayun.
Alright, so minimize utang. Pero in a sense, sir, do you see a lot of opportunities that you can use debt with for real estate naman?
Of course naman. Of course. As I said, real estate is the best collateral. Kahit saan mo gamitin yan, magandang collateral yan. Kahit mag-quick loan ka, di ba? Kunwari, punta ka sa kanto-kanto, yung mga lenders dyan, di ba? O kung may collateral ka, titulo sa pangalan mo, ang bilis, overnight.
Okay.
Pera ka na. Di ba? Sa bangko, 30, 60 days. Sa'yo na yung pera. Ano kabilis? Kasi maganda yung, siyempre, obviously, dapat maganda naman yung property mo. No? It's bankable asset, ha? Yan.
Alright, sir. Alright, so we can see no medyo na I'm trying to bridge the gap talaga from yung stock market and yung real estate. So if there's actually something very common to the two, which is yung real estate investment trust or the REITs.
Okay.
Alright. So are you right now wala pang real estate investment trust ngayon sa Philippines? And I
Yes.
think Ayala Land will start the first listing of that. And for the listeners na hindi pa familiar, basically you're investing in real estate pero it's like a mutual fund na a lot of people are invested in that specific property and you earn through what the property earns through rental income, mga ganon. So, ikaw, sir, personally, do you see yourself trying to invest in real estate investment trust?
Actually, it's a good source for refinancing for the developers. No? Pero ako hindi. Kasi I would still believe that if I continue doing my buy and sell and flipping, you know, no, I will earn more than 8% per annum. So yun ang ano mo, di ba? Yun ang cut-off mo. For example, the other big companies, like for example, the Pangilinan Group, di ba? Their cut-off is 15 yata, San Miguel, 18 yata, di ba? If your ROI is at 15 or 18, they will not listen to you, no? Same with me, no? My ROI maybe target is 20, 25 for my real estate investments. Because pwede mo siya i-flip. Yung REIT, it's actually passive income. Di ba? Passive income today gives you around 6% to 8% of rentals. Yeah? So it's parang gano'n lang. Nakabili ka ng property, a portion of the property, di ba? At 6 or 8%. So, will the price be right or not? Yun na lang siguro ang ano mo eh. Kasi I don't think naman anybody will launch their REIT within the next 1 year eh, kasi naapektuhan ng commercial properties.
Yes. Okay, all right. All right, sir. So, actually there's this very interesting question na I'm very curious. And I read this in an article. Medyo fact check na lang, sir, if this is correct. You were able to acquire an island before. Tama ba, sir?
Yeah.
So can you tell a story on that? Did you just sell it or tumambay ka pa ba dun sa island na yun or something?
Okay, actually, this is one property where I would say I violated all my rules. No? I did not visit it. I just
Really?
came across it. You know, it's a I'm hobby I do. No, that when I go out of town, I go normally on a Friday. Then I go to a rural bank and then I look at their properties. Magandang presyo sa rural bank. Saka very specific to the area. No? So I went to the Bantayan Island area and I saw a bank, rural bank there. I look at their properties. I saw it. Maganda eh. You know, and I picked it up. Yeah. Very, very cheap eh. You know. So I said without looking, I'm okay with it. You know. And my staff actually went the week after I bought it to inspect it. I mean, sir, maganda, pero lahi pa ng biyahe. So it's really very far. But on my second trip, when I went myself, I went the same route the person passed. It's really far. But on the third time it was visited, I began inquiring from people. No? And I got to realize, ang lapit lang pala niya. The island's still there. It's not the whole island, by the way. It's a portion of the island.
Portion, okay.
Portion of the island. No? And it's cliffside. No? It's a beautiful island, cliffside. Actually, pag low tide, mga 1 inch lang ang tubig. No? Pag high tide, siguro mga 2 meters high. No? So, may surge of water talaga. So, still there. You know, I went to see it not this February, but last year's February. And what I plan to do with it, I still don't know.
So you still own the property hanggang ngayon, sir?
Yes. Actually, if you look at it, you can see it in YouTube. See, Gina Lopez went to visit the island, and she had a video there. She called, it's on YouTube, it's Kinatarkan Island on YouTube. I think she uses Kina, Kina, Kinatarkan Island.
Okay.
Very beautiful the way her videos are done. And last I found out, 6,000 pesos per square meter na yata.
Oh. Ikaw, sir, so until now, na-visit nyo na ba siya? Napuntahan nyo na
Yeah.
multiple times? Ayaw nyo,
No,
sir, i-keep na lang yung property?
yeah, I'm just keeping it, holding on to it lang. No?
Okay, okay.
I plan to put a small resort with solar, you know,
Mm.
parang no,
Right.
with some diving, pero cliff diving. No?
Ah, wow. Solid, sir.
Oo.
Alright, so I'm gonna move on medyo away na from the real estate world. And yung purpose rin kasi nito, sir, is to try to understand our guests and bakit kayo nagsasucceed, sir. So,
Okay.
with that naman, what kind of person do you think succeeds in the real estate business and who should avoid real estate?
Okay. If you get into real estate as a serious investor, you have to be passionate. Kasi it's not something, as I said, no, that you buy lang, and get to realize you made a mistake. Maganda naman sa real estate, to be honest also, pag ikaw yung nagkamali sa real estate, time will solve the problem. No? You bought on the left side of the town. Eventually, development will go there. For example, if you had bought in Bacoor, Imus, Dasmariñas, if you bought there 20 years ago, 25 years ago, people ask you, ba't ka bumili doon? Mabundukin doon, walang tao doon. In fact, tawag natin doon namin, killing fields ang tawag namin doon. Tapos na yun, may road, di ba? May mall, may schools, may hospitals, You ask the value there now, talagang boom, tumalong siya. So, yun ang ano dun titignan mo. No?
All right. All right. So, sir, do you have any how did you start learning about real estate? Did you have any mentors from your past?
Actually, during our time kasi you attend lang yung mga regular meetings, yung gano'n, no?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually something that's not so hard to learn. Yeah. But I really learned by doing it. The task of going through the due diligence, the task of organizing a sales team, selling it, going to the street, do flyering, in the street in the heat of the sun. Ang tawag namin dati dyan, Boracay. Nasa Boracay. Kalsada pala yun. Nagpa-flyering kami. No? So, kung hindi ka mag-hands-on, hindi ka matututo. Maging bookish ka lang. How to process a title, how to register your property, how to transfer a title, how to pay your realty tax. All those things, kahit sabihin ng tao, liit lang yan. I can ask somebody to do it. But if that person encounters a problem, you will not know how to help that person. So the best way to be in real estate, you have to experience it. Kailangan mag-hands-on ka talaga. I have actually stepped on, except for the island, I've stepped on all the real estate properties that I've sold and invested in. So when I say I've sold over 4,000 properties before na under auction, I must have inspected around 20 to 25,000 properties,
Wow.
personally. So it's a very personal thing to be invested in.
Grabe. All right. So mainly experience talaga, and you have to be there, no? You have to
Yeah.
inspect it yourself. Actually, I read in one article also, you said na when you buy foreclosure, make sure you like the property because you might end up with it, no?
Yeah.
So it reminds me of that where parang sa stock market din, you can't just invest in any random company. Like for example, si Warren Buffett, he invested in Coca-Cola because he knows the company, he knows the product, and he loves drinking Coke basically.
Yeah.
So ikaw, sir, personally pinuntahan mo lahat ng properties na yun. And
Oh,
lahat yun, sir, tingin nyo parang it's worth keeping naman.
yeah.
All right, all right. How about books, sir? Do you have any books in mind that you like
Really?
or that changed your
Okay, I
aside
think
from experience?
I only read one book in my whole life, aside from school books, It's the Godfather pa nga yata yung nabasa ko. But
Talaga sir.
I'm not a reader,
Okay, sir.
My children are. I mean, no, I have a hard time reading. I told you, my my thoughts start flying. I keep turning the pages, but before I know it, oh, what page did I stop thinking about the book.
Mhm.
So the funny thing was, when I go out to National Bookstore or Power Books, and I see a real estate book. Even when I go abroad, when I see real estate books, I buy them. You know, and if you look at my library, it's still plastic. I've never bothered to open it. I only read the back page, that's it. But I just like everything in my library. What started me really off before was yung, siyempre, panahon ko ito, di ba? Yung cassette tape.
Mm.
Yung nabutan nyo yung cassette tape, di ba?
Yes, sir.
So when I'm driving, I would put the cassette tapes of Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Tom Hopkins, yung mga yun, lahat na sa CD, nasa ano sila eh. Tawag dito? Cassette tape. So niload ko yun. And they were my guiding book. They're the ones who would inspire me, yung ganun. So sila yung mga, if I were to read, they would have been the ones I would have read about.
Okay.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, honestly, di ko pa rin talaga binabasa yung buong libro. It's supposed to be really within my trait of life.
All right. So most of the learning is experience talaga, and if
Yeah.
learning from others, mga audio format.
Audio
So parang
format.
ganito, parang podcaster. Like
Yun. Oo.
for example, I hope maraming taong makinig nito in their cars when they're driving na, no? Kasi parang passive learning experience naman siya.
That's correct, yeah.
All right. So, ikaw sir, personally, do you have a life goal that you're trying to achieve?
Okay, I think I'm there already,
Okay.
If we talk about life goals,
All right.
now I'm more on, I would say, playing na lang, Kasi I'm so lucky that, for example, just yesterday, I called all my tenants, and my staff were calling all my tenants. Sabi ko, can we deposit your March, April, May checks? And nice to say, I would say 90% have said yes. All the 3 months, please do so, siguro yung isa o dalawa lang nagsabi na baka pwede March lang muna. Yung isa, March, April lang. Pero everybody was, okay lang. So for me, I'm kind of settled, I saw this happen kasi, di ba? I told you, in 1997, there was no income coming in. But now, I'm more comfortable because there's income coming in. So, yun ang mga
All right. Okay. So, since you're settled na now, sir, what do you spend your wealth on naman? What do you enjoy doing right now?
Okay. Basically, let me go back to the life goal. Ang naging life goal ko na lang ngayon sharing.
Mm.
I do a lot of free seminars. I webinar nga, I teach people. In fact, I had one about the history of real estate, in tandem with our economy, as we went through. So I also I go to abroad. For example, I look for time. Pagpunta ko ng Middle East countries, I normally arrive there on Thursday, and I go out with the OFWs on Friday, day of nila yun, And we chat, learning. I make seminars, I tie up with if it's a paid seminar, I tie up with mga locals there, Then I have coffee time after that. Whoever wants to go see me on Saturday, nagko-coffee time. Sundays, normally my tour days, Sa Hong Kong, nakakaaliw, Sa Hong Kong, nag-post lang ako sa Filipino groups in the Facebook, Sabi ko, kape-kape tayo sa bakery na to. Sunday morning, Sabi ko, anything under the sun about real estate, pwede kayo magtanong. Basta kanya-kanyang kape. I had like 35 people showing up, And we all bought our own coffee, our own tinapay, And we were all there chatting until lunchtime, from around 8 or 9 o'clock. So it's more of a giving back, trying to help people not to make the same mistakes I did, And the most thing I'm so adamant about was, I keep telling people, mag-ano ka, emergency fund ka, mag-investment fund ka mo. So people ask me, sir, saan ako mag-umpisa? I ask him, di ba? May emergency fund ka ba? Sir, wala. Tipid ka muna bago tayo mag-usap. Kasi useless naman, di ba? So
Yes.
it's basically giving back into the area. So where do I spend my money now? Kasi I've been always kuripot in my life.
Mm.
Uh, you know, my my lifestyle has never changed. In fact, this is my telephone. Until today, I still use this kind of telephone.
Okay.
I only bought an iPad because I went abroad. Yun, siguro. Every year, we take 2 weeks to 3 weeks off, to go out with my wife. And we go out and really go, country hopping. Like 3 or 4 days per country, And it's like 4 or 5 countries we do that. And that's what we look forward to every year. Kaya frustrate kami ngayon. Kaya, talaga yan, paminsan twice a year namin ginagawa. So that's I would say, the bulk of our gastos.
Okay. All right. All right, sir. So we're approaching the last question na, sir.
Okay.
All right. So the last one naman, sir, given that we are in a health pandemic, in a health crisis right now, if you had a message that can be conveyed to the world, lahat ng tao makarinig, what would your message be?
World peace.
World peace.
No. Actually, I think it comes from you. Yeah. You are the most important factor now in this whole pandemic. It's not everybody in the street, diba? It's how you take care of yourself, how you try to make yourself stronger, and healthier to be able to fight it if ever you're able to get hit with it, and not to expose yourself in any of it situations. I've been trying to wear a PPE. Have you ever tried wearing a PPE?
Yes, sir.
I did, and because I think that's going to be my new normal. I call it abnormal because I'll be going out using a PPE, and I don't care about what people say, but I'm going to walk in the malls in a PPE. It's very hot. Ang init sa loob, grabe. Siguro I use it pa lang 1 minute, I'm sweating already. So, you have to take care of yourself. Because once you get it, you spread it. Especially kami, di ba? All my grandchildren are here with me, except for two that are abroad. My kids are here, or still in the Philippines. So we're all here, barracks in the house. Any of us gets it. Everybody gets it. So it's taking care of yourself is the most important thing today. Surviving and staying alive.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Sir Nolly.
Okay, so
All right.
yeah. Thank you
That
so
actually,
much, and
that wraps up the show na rin, sir. Do you have any final words, or do you wanna share anything to the people, follow and like your material, your content sa internet?
okay. Okay. Again, no, my Facebook page is El Subastahero. You can go and like the page. My YouTube channel is the Property Forum, and I'm gonna start having videos in Investalearn, working with the Investagram group. So watch out for it. It's coming very, very soon. Thank you.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Sana marami kayong natutunan, and sobrang thank you very much, Sir Nolly, for becoming our guest in this show.
Thank you so much,
Um,
Lenzo, for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. Dami ko natutunan.
Okay, Lenzo.
All right.